This is the new Toyota Supra, and it's a little bit like Angela Merkel wearing a kimono on a date with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You see, it's like Angela because underneath the skin, it's actually German. You see, it's based on the BMW Z4. However, the bodywork is completely Japanese, isn't it? Just like a kimono. And it's actually built in Austria, as is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, the car starts from £53,000, but if you click on the pop-out banner, you can see how much you can save on a new car at carwow. However, I bet you're more interested in whether this new Supra is better to drive than the BMW Z4 on which it's based. Well, to find out, the first thing I'm going to do is launch it. Now, I actually drove the Z4 the other week and I timed it from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. So, that's the time this Supra has to beat. I'm going to put it into sports mode. I'm going to put the traction into sports mode. Got my specialist timing gear up here. Got my left foot on the brake. Throw the throttle. Launch control. Active. Go. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, yes. There we go. Right. Good job it did it quickly because I was running out of space there. There's a fence. Okay, so it did 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. So yeah, it beat the BMW. Now you're probably wondering what it'll do the standing quarter mile in. Well, I clearly haven't got the room here, but later on I'm going to take the car on track and time it. Let's start this review by talking about the Supra's design, because when I first saw this car, I was like, oh my God, what the heck have they done? But actually, here in the sunshine, I've changed my mind. Yeah, I'm a little bit fickle like that. You see the front, it reminds me of the Mark IV Supra. There's lots of kind of swooshes and creases about the place. I really, really like the headlamp clusters. It's got like little red flashes in them, that's really cool. Now from the side profile, this car is supposed to mimic the Toyota 2000 GT from the 1960s. If you don't know what that looks like, here's a pic of it now. Now there is no denying that this is very Japanese in its design. The only thing that isn't are the door mirrors, because they are from the BMW Z4. I do like how you have these black side skirts, they look cool, but I absolutely adore these standard 19-inch alloys. They look amazing. The only bit of the car I'm really not too sure about is this section here, the rear haunches. It's like it's got fat, flabby hips, a bit like Kim Kardashian, probably in about 10 years' time, or maybe 10 months' time. Anyway, the back though, can't fault the back. The back of this car is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at it. What a sweet ass this is. Love the ducktail spoiler like that. And the rear diffuser. The way you have a little fog light, like the rain lights that you get on Formula One cars. The only thing I don't really like is this, look. This Toyota badge there above the Supra. It's just, why'd they put that on there? I really don't know. Like the fact you've got real exhaust pipes, which are quite big. I'll illustrate that now with the new carwow bottles of truth test. So yeah. See, they fit. Isn't that awesome? And so too is the exterior design, if you ask me. Now, it is pretty wild, whereas inside, it's a bit of a different story. This new Supra is all rather sensible, unlike me. Yeah, that was a bit stupid. Yeah, like I was saying, it's all quite calm and reserved. You can definitely feel a Germanic influence, especially because a lot of the buttons and stuff are from a BMW. So these buttons here for the radio, from a BMW, the climate control system, from a BMW, this twiddly knob here and all the buttons here, from a BMW, the steering wheel also from a BMW and all the switches on it, the gear shifter paddles, the stalks on the steering column, the door handles, switches here and here, BMW, and the light switches here, BMW. Yes. So that's good though, because normally with the Toyota, the insides are just bonkers. They have buttons all over the place just randomly. So that is good. And I do actually like the design. It's nice and simple, very clean, not bad at all. The quality is pretty good in here as well. That's another BMW influence. So lots of squidgy materials here. Here we've got a stitched dash. I like the fact that all the lower down panels as well, they're padded, and not to make the car feel posh. They're padded because you might end up banging your knees off them when you're actually going around corners really, really quickly. That's a really cool feature that they've done that. But yeah, I am feeling the BMW vibes. The rear view mirror is BMW as well. It's even got the little sensor for gesture controls, but this car doesn't have it. And that brings me onto the screen and this car's equipment list. As standard, the Toyota Supra gets a large infotainment screen with built-in satellite navigation. There's also a digital driver's display as well. Full LED adaptive headlights, adaptive cruise control, and a load of safety kit that is too boring to mention right here. A 10-speaker sound system with Boy Racer pleasing grille covers. A reversing camera, Alcantara sport seats with electric operation. Plus an active rear differential and adaptive suspension. If you pay an extra £1,300, you can upgrade to the Supra Pro, which is what this red car is. You then get full leather seats, an upgraded JBL stereo with 2 extra speakers, wireless charging for your mobile phone, and the most useful addition of all, a heads-up display which can show things like the speed limit, your speed, and navigation directions, and I think it's really useful if you're going to be using this car as a daily driver. Finally, there's this A90 edition, which is an extra £3,000, and you get matte grey paint, black alloy wheels, and a red leather interior, which is rather nice. Unfortunately, this is a limited edition, and they're all sold out for now. I was given a choice of which car to review, either the red one or the yellow one, and I wasn't sure, so I went onto my Instagram account at Matt Watson Cars and did a story with a poll, and it was close, but you guys chose the red one. So I'll continue the review with this car here. Anyway, let's continue the review by talking about this infotainment system. So this is one time where I cannot say it's not as good as BMW's iDrive, because as you can see, it is in fact BMW's iDrive. It's BMW's old iDrive, but it's still very, very good. Nice screen, very easy to use. You can use it as a touchscreen or the swivel wheel with the shortcut buttons. Plotting a route into the sat-nav is super easy. You can do it using the wheel, or once again, using the buttons on the screen. And it calculates routes nice and fast, dead easy to input a waypoint as well, and you've got traffic alerts to send you around the jams. All very good. The only problem is that while it has Apple CarPlay, just like a BMW, it doesn't have Android Auto, so yeah, no good for me and my Samsung. Another thing that I do like about it is the fact you get a sort of version of BMW's digital driver's display, though I prefer the layout of this Toyota one. So you've got the central rev counter, the speed off to the left, and then the satellite navigation functions all to the right. It's good. Good infotainment system. In terms of the seating position, it's lovely actually. Steering wheel is really centrally mounted as well. The seats feel a little bit on the high side. I'd like to go a bit lower, even though you are actually sitting quite low. Part of the reason for that is that this roof is quite low, so you feel like you need to be a bit lower still. But it's all right. If you're tall, you may struggle. Yeah, if you're really tall, that is. Other areas of practicality are only okay. So the glove box is pretty much filled with the manual and some high-vis vests. Got a little storage area here. A couple of cup holders here, but they won't fit my big bottle. The door bins as well, they're tiny. Not going to fit anything in those, but I have a solution. You see here, there is a fire extinguisher, but I'll just remove that because this is a Toyota. It's not going to burst into flames, and I can hold my big bottle in there. Perfect. I think I will just keep the fire extinguisher in the car though, because all the mechanicals are BMW. Anyway, let's move on to the boot. So the capacity is 290 litres, which is about the same as an Audi TT RS, which is also about the same as a Ford Fiesta, but the shape is obviously different than the Fiestas. Now there's a bit of a load lip to lift stuff over, but you can fit quite a bit of luggage in there if you need to. More importantly though, the shape of it means that you can carry 2 spare tyres, which is obviously really important if you're doing track days. Also, there are a few bits of practicality here. So tie down hooks there, some nettage there. There's a 12-volt socket for your tyre inflator and an elastic strap where I could have actually put the water bottle and instead of using the fire extinguisher holder. Also, there's even ISOFIX on the front passenger seat, so you could take a baby in this car if you wanted to. So as far as I'm concerned, for a sports car, it's practical enough for me. Now then, it's time for the CarWow 5 annoying things about this car. There are so many fake vents on this car that the CarWow sticker truth is going to have a field day. So, fake, 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 and fake. There's no release for the boot right here where you need it at the boot. You can only open it using the key or by pressing a button inside the cabin. You can't move the sun visor to the side, which is really annoying if you've got low sun coming through that window because you end up blinded. Ow. Refitting the low cover is a bit of a puzzle because it just doesn't seem to fit in any way, shape or form. I'm following the instructions, but I give up. Toyota Supra fanboys are forever going to be coming up to you going, oh yeah, maybe the new Toyota Supra, but it hasn't got a 2JZ engine, so yeah, it's not a proper Toyota Supra, especially as it's built by BMW. Then they'll open up the bonnet and point out all the BMW badges, such as there, there's even one there, which is right next to a Toyota sticker, which I think I'll just remove because, yeah, this ain't a Toyota, not really. Don't worry, there's still plenty to like about this car. Here's the carwow 5 core features. The Supra sits low to the ground and has a lower centre of gravity than the GT86. It also has the perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and it achieves what's known as the golden ratio of 1.55, and that's the ratio between the distance between its front and rear wheels and its left and right wheels. That gives you the optimum balance of stability yet agility. The sports mode is completely configurable, so I have the damping in normal for added comfort, the steering in sport for a bit of extra weight, the transmission in normal so it's relaxing, and the engine in sport mode for rapid response and a louder exhaust noise. Oh yeah, we've got a double bubble roof, which not only looks cool, but aids aerodynamics. Thanks to its fixed coupe roof, this Supra's body is stiffer than the BMW Z4's. In fact, the chassis is even more rigid than the Lexus LFA supercars. The stability control, you can turn all the way off. Yeah, baby, yeah, I like it, super style! The engine choice for the Supra is very simple, there is just one. Ah, look at that, the bonnet release is a double pull, just like on BMWs. Actually, the engine is just like on BMWs because it's BMW's 3-litre straight-six twin-scroll turbo. It produces 340 horsepower, has 550 Nm of torque, and it powers the rear wheels only via an 8-speed automatic gearbox as standard. Yes, that's right, there is no manual version of the Supra. Boo! Now it's time to see what this Toyota Supra is like to drive. I'm going to start in town. I know you're probably thinking, just take it on track. Well, that'll come later, all right? You need to know what it's going to be like to live with every day. So actually it's really good. The automatic gearbox is nice and smooth. You don't really notice it changing gears when you have it in normal mode. The suspension in normal mode is pretty decent over bumps. There's a speed hump, no trouble at all. It'll cope with potholes as well. Very, very comfortable for a sports car. I'm quite impressed by that. Also the brakes, they're not grabby. I thought they might be on a sporty car like this, but they're not. So that's helpful. As for the manoeuvrability, well, I'm going to park it now. So the steering is super light, so it's very easy to manoeuvre this car. It's got quite a tight turning circle as well for a sporty car. So you're not going to get stuck at mini roundabouts and stuff. The visibility isn't so good, but the wing mirror does that thing that BMW wing mirrors do, surprise, surprise, where they angle down when you're reversing. You are going to be relying on the parking sensors and the camera to get the car into space, but it is actually super, super easy. I mean, look at that. 2 moves, not sticking out too far. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a result. Anyway, let's get out of town. Drive this thing a little bit faster. This new Supra is actually pretty good on the motorway as well. So I'm just cruising along at 90 kilometers an hour. And it's reasonably relaxing. The seats are supportive but not too firm. There's not much wind noise at all. Get a little bit of tyre noise, but that's about it. It seems quieter slightly than the BMW Z4 because obviously that's got a fabric roof. But what happens if you need to overtake? So like I said, I'm doing 90. The gearbox is in normal mode and in 8th gear. I'm just going to floor it. And already I'm at that Vectra's chuff. Look at that, I think I gave him a bit of a shock. He wants to get the heck out of the way. This thing pulls, it really pulls. Oh, that's illegal. I'll back off now. Yes, good performance and good response from the gearbox, even just in normal drive. What really matters is how this new Supra drives on a twisty road, and I've found one, so I'm going to put the car into sports mode, so everything is in maximum attack. The first thing I notice is the gearbox. So now it's keen to hold onto gears and will rev out. Also, when it changes gears, you get like a thump in the back, which I'm sure that has just been added in for effect, and I like the effect. And as for the chassis balance, it's really good. So it's quite a predictable, easy car to drive fast. I think Toyota's engineers have done a good job with this car because it's a really well-rounded sports car. Yeah, I know, all the hardware is BMW, but who cares what Supra fanboys say? You know, yes, so what? Most of it's BMW, but why not just think of it as a Z4M Coupe? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Anyway, there's one last place we need to try this car out. So here we are on Jarama Racing Circuit in Madrid. How this car handles on track is massively important, and right away we can just get it on the lock stops. So yeah, from the first corner, I'm liking it already. Now this car spent years being developed on the Nürburgring, and it was actually signed off by Mr. Toyota on the Nürburgring, so it should be good for track days. There is a bit of roll through the corners to let you know what the car's doing, but not too much. One thing you really appreciate is that engine. The mid-range power of this engine is so good, and you can just like get the back end out and then just slide it for days. You know, it's very easy to do. Another thing worth mentioning are the brakes. The brakes do a great job of just... Oh! So they're big Brembo brakes, and they do a great job of hauling this car up. One of the things I've noticed is that this steering system, which is not the fastest in the world, does mean it's very easy to control on track. Just feels right, not too skittish. You know exactly what the car's doing, and it points it quick enough where you want to go. I really do think that Toyota have built a nice, fun handling car that you can just mess around with when you want to. I love it. Well done, Toyota. The final thing for me to do in this new Supra is to set a standing quarter mile launch time. So I have the start finish straight ahead of me. I've got my specialist timing gear here. We're going to do it. See what it does. It's a pretty good start, that is. Feels strong. What's it going to put in? Come on. Give me a good time. Is it there? There we go. Oh. So, this car did the standing quarter mile in 12.5 seconds. Now let's just check out the 0 to 60. So it did 0 to 60 in 4 seconds dead. And that means that a red Supra is faster than a yellow Supra. That obviously has nothing to do with the improved traction of a racing circuit. No, not at all. Make sure you pick the right colour then. So then, what's my final verdict on the new Toyota Supra? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should just go right ahead and buy the new Toyota Supra if you can get your hands on one. Yeah, the Supra fanboys may go, oh, it's not a proper Toyota, but it's a great sports car, good value for money, and it comes with Toyota's 5-year warranty. Winner. Do you agree with my verdict? Let me know in the comments section. Also, please subscribe to this channel for more videos. And if you click on the deals box to the right, you can see how much you can save on a new car at CarWow. Or click on the video windows below to watch another of my videos.